So you want to start streaming, or just move your stream to OBS, but every time you look at the settings, it stares back at you like it's going to ask for change. Let's break down each of the settings of the advanced output tab and get that stream from looking like First, we have to connect our preferred streaming service and log in. The service we stream to is one of the main deciding factors to our output settings, so it's fitting we covered that first. Unless we're using Restream, logging in is a straightforward process. So where do you stream? Is it Twitch, YouTube, or Kick? These services have either mandatory ingest codecs or more efficient ones.
Wait a minute!
What the fuck is an ingest codec, and is it a disease I need to avoid? No. But it could definitely bore you to death. Essentially, your stream has to interpret your screen, ingest, and then compress it using a codec, so that Twitch, Kick, or YouTube can send it out to your viewers and they can ultimately watch it. Twitch and Kick have limited options on compression methods. However, with YouTube, you have all three we have available. But what do we have? There's H.264, H.265, HEVC from now on, and AV1. We are excluding CPU and AMD methods for now. To figure out which codec, we decide first by service and then secondly by GPU. Kick, Facebook, and X only support H.264 as well as regular ×264. Twitch supports H.264 and HEVC, and YouTube as well as Discord support all three. Then with GPUs, RTX 20 and 30 series support H.264 and HEVC, and RTX 40 and 50 series support all three as well. If H.264 is our baseline, HEVC is around 1.3 times as efficient and AV1 is 1.4 times. If this guide gets that stream looking mint fresh, drop us a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. Or if you have a mate whose stream looks like flaming dog shit and you can't bring yourself to tell them, I will. Your stream looks like it was filmed on a Nokia phone. Watch this guy. Thankfully, audio is easy. We can leave that set to AAC and that will be fine for 99.9% of platforms. We'll cover audio bitrates later, so unless we're rescaling, we'll cover the top section of the advanced tab. If you are, I wouldn't suggest upscaling to 2K, but any kind of scaling should be done using the Landcost scaling method as it has the highest visual clarity. Moving on to the juicy stuff. The encoder section is both the most daunting and important part of our setup. Luckily, we start with rate control, which is the same everywhere. This is set to CBR or constant bitrate, as this is the optimal way to stream video over the internet. Bitrates is probably our trickiest topic, depending on video encoder, upload speed, and streaming service. Both Twitch and Kick have a maximum bitrate of about 8K bits per second, and YouTube has a maximum of 40K bits per second. To demystify our bitrate, let's first check our upload speed on speedtest.net, where our maximum streaming upload speed is around 75% of our total. In my case, it's around 35K bits. Next we have our encoder. NVIDIA recommends for a 1080p 60fps stream, H.264 needs an output bitrate of at least 8K bits per second. HEVC needs at least 6K bits per second, and AV1 needs at least 4K bits per second. Therefore, for a 1080p 60fps stream to Twitch and Kick, our bitrate should be between 6 to 8K bits per second, and to YouTube with an upper limit of 10K bits per second. For a 720p 60fps stream, H.264 needs an output bitrate of at least 6K bits per second, HEVC needs at least 4K bits per second, and AV1 needs at least 3K bits per second. Therefore, for a 720p 60fps stream to Twitch and Kick, a bitrate should be between 4 to 6K bits, and to YouTube with an upper limit of 8K bits per second. The wiggle room between our upper and lower limits is the bounds of which you can adjust your stream output quality and computer performance. Keep in mind, we have our stream audio bitrate which adds on top of our video bitrate to form our total bitrate. For Twitch and Kick, due to iOS devices, an audio bitrate of 96K bits will be fine, and for YouTube, if sending stereo, 128K bits per second, and if sending surround sound, 384K bits per second. If it's a fast-paced game and your setup can support it, a higher video bitrate will have a better viewing experience. However, if it's not, that performance could be better spent keeping that room from becoming a chapter in Dante's Inferno. Keyframes are most optimal at 2 seconds, and this is true for all platforms. However, the preset is a bit more nuanced, where of course we want to have it set to the highest quality preset to begin with, but depending on how your stream performs, whether you get an encoder overloaded warning or not, will determine where we end up. Where I would recommend a minimum preset of P4 medium and a maximum preset of P6 better quality. Tuning is the speed of the pipeline between your screen and the viewers. It is dependent on your platform settings. So for Twitch, in your creator dashboard under stream settings, if you're using low latency, set the tuning ultra low, and for normal latency, set your tuning to normal as well. For YouTube, we go by our stream latency, where ultra low and low on YouTube correlate with the tuning, and for normal latency, we set our tuning to high quality. Kick here is the easiest, recommending always using the ultra low latency tuning. All platforms recommend using single pass in the multipass mode, and this has the lowest performance impact with a small cost of visual fidelity. For H.264 users, the profile should be set to high, and for every other encoding option, main. Look ahead isn't as cut and dry as it depends on GPU utilization, i.e., how much pressure is your GPU under. Using the NVIDIA app, we can see what percentage of utilization a GPU is at. If it's getting to the higher percentile ranges whilst gaming, look ahead should be disabled. But if there's plenty of juice left in your GPU, tick this option. Psycho visual tuning or adaptive quantization, oh, it's a big word. I'm not going to how you pronounce this. Quantization. Okay, quantization. Quantization. Psycho visual tuning or adaptive quantization should be checked, and that just leaves us with B-frames, which luckily is nice and easy. If you've checked look ahead, set this to 4. However, if it's unchecked, set it to 2. Now with this, most, if not all, NVIDIA GPU users should have an optimal starting place for OBS stream settings. But where does this leave AMD GPUs and those relegated to using x264 CPU encoding? Well, worry not. Starting with CPU encoding, we just use a differently named preset and tune, being very fast as a preset and zero latency as the tune. AMD also has good news, and that news is H.264 encoding, where all of our previous settings are the exact same, per platform of course. For all the info in this guide, as well as each major streaming service's recommended settings, check the links in the description. Make sure to tune into the next video where I talk about Twitch's enhanced broadcasting and why you should already be using it. For those using AMD GPUs, or if you just have any OBS tips, make sure to leave a comment and help out the next poor sod.